Doing it alone is hard. Doing it broke is harder. Doing it tired feels impossible. But doing nothing, that's what really breaks you. This isn't a story about comfort. This is for the person who's been fighting battles nobody sees. You wake up with a heavy mind, no energy, and no backup. There's no one clapping for you, no one checking in, no one fixing anything. And yet, you keep showing up, quietly, painfully, and still moving. This message is for you, because life doesn't slow down when you're broke. Responsibilities don't stop when you're drained, and success doesn't wait until you feel ready. You don't need perfect circumstances. You don't need people to understand. You need to decide. This is where it changes. Not when you're supported, not when you're rich, not when you're rested, but now, alone, broke, and tired. And yes, you're still going to do it. Chapter 1. Stand alone and prove you can rebuild from nothing. You know, there comes a time in every person's life when they're faced with a choice. Either stay broken and blame everything around them, or stand up, alone if necessary, and start rebuilding from nothing. It's not a comfortable truth, but it's a real one. Most people wait for the perfect moment, the perfect support, or the perfect chance, but those moments rarely show up. Life doesn't always give you help. Sometimes all it gives you is pain, exhaustion, and silence. That's when you discover what you're truly made of. When you stand alone, you find out who you really are. You realize what strength actually feels like, not the kind that's loud or dramatic, but the kind that grows in quiet rooms when you're tired and no one's clapping for you. Most people don't rebuild their lives because they expect company on the journey. They expect someone to check on them, to push them, to make it easier. But life doesn't promise support. The real change begins when you stop expecting and start doing, when you tell yourself, even if no one shows up for me, I'll still show up for myself. Standing alone isn't punishment, it's preparation. When you've got nothing and no one to rely on, that's when you start seeing life with clear eyes. You stop pretending, you stop making excuses, you stop waiting for motivation. You realize that no one is coming to hand you a new start. You've got to build it with your own hands, even when those hands are shaking. When you're broke, your mind plays tricks on you. It tells you you're finished. It whispers that you've failed too many times, that you're too far behind, that everyone else is ahead. But that's a lie. Being broke isn't the end, it's the test. It's the ground where you plant the seed of resilience. When you're broke, you have two choices: complain about it or learn something from it. You learn how to manage your time, your focus, your energy, because those are the things you still control. Standing alone doesn't mean shutting people out. It means standing firm in who you are, even when no one understands your path. It means doing the work when the room is empty. It means showing up early, staying late, pushing through doubt, and reminding yourself that progress doesn't need an audience, it only needs your effort. Every person who ever built something great started from the same place alone, uncertain, afraid. They just decided not to quit. You may not have money right now. You may not have resources. You may not even have energy some days. But what you still have is choice. You can choose to take one step forward, even when it feels pointless. You can choose to give one more hour, one more try, one more attempt. You don't rebuild your life overnight. You rebuild it piece by piece. You fix one small thing at a time. your habits, your mindset, your self-respect. That's where real change starts. You can lose everything, but if you don't lose your drive to keep going, you haven't lost at all. There's power in starting from zero. When you've got nothing, you've got nothing to protect. That means you can take risks. You can try, fail, learn, and try again. When you have nothing, you start learning what really matters. You start valuing effort over comfort. You stop chasing approval. You begin to focus on growth. That's when life starts turning around. Standing alone will test your emotions. There will be nights when your thoughts won't let you sleep. There will be mornings when you'll wake up tired from fighting battles no one sees. But those moments, as painful as they are, shape you into someone unbreakable. Every tear you wipe alone builds your emotional muscle. Every disappointment strengthens your patience. Every hard day you survive adds to your wisdom. You can't grow stronger without pressure. You can't rebuild your mind without challenge. The world rewards those who stay standing when it's easier to fall. It doesn't matter how many people doubt you. It doesn't matter who left. What matters is that you didn't leave yourself behind. When you rebuild from nothing, you stop needing permission. You start trusting your instincts. You stop asking, "How long will this take?" and start asking, "How far can I go?" The work becomes your therapy. Every task you finish becomes a small victory. You start earning respect from the only person who truly matters, yourself. And once you prove to yourself that you can rebuild, that you can push forward without support, something changes inside you. You become confident, not because someone told you you're great, but because you've seen yourself survive the worst and still move forward. That kind of confidence doesn't fade, it stays. It guides you through every next storm. If you're broke right now, it's okay. If you're tired, it's okay. If you're alone, it's okay. None of these things mean you're done. They mean you're being prepared. Life strips away comfort before it gives you clarity. You're not being punished, you're being positioned for strength. The pain you feel right now is not a signal to quit. It's a signal that you're growing past what you used to be. Rebuilding from nothing requires patience. You'll feel like progress is slow. You'll wonder if it's even worth it. But if you can keep moving, no matter how small the steps, you'll start to see change. Because the truth is, consistency beats talent every time. You don't need to be special to rebuild your life. You just need to be consistent. Wake up tomorrow and do something that moves you closer to stability, no matter how small. Organize your space, write down your goals, work on your craft, study something new, move your body. Every small action is a brick. One brick won't build the house, but daily effort will. And remember, standing alone doesn't mean being isolated forever. It means you're strong enough to stand on your own so that when you do meet the right people, you can stand beside them, not lean on them. You'll know your worth because you earned it through effort, not words. You'll bring value, not neediness. People often ask, "How do I stay motivated when I'm alone?" The truth is, motivation won't always be there. You have to build discipline when motivation disappears. You do it because it needs to be done, not because you feel like it. The best feeling in the world isn't comfort, it's self-respect. And you build that by keeping your word to yourself, even when it's hard. One day, you'll look back and realize that the moments when you felt most alone were the moments that made you. You'll remember how broke you were, how tired you were, how many nights you doubted yourself, and you'll smile because you didn't quit. You'll see that those lonely days were the foundation of your new life. You'll see that being alone wasn't the end, it was the beginning. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're just in the middle of the building phase. You're building strength, character, and discipline. You're building the version of yourself that doesn't collapse under pressure. Every time you get up when you don't want to, you're proving to yourself that you can handle more than you thought. So if you're standing alone today, don't curse it. Use it. Make it your training ground. Make it the season where you learn self-trust, patience, and grit. Build your habits like armor. Take control of what you can, your thoughts, your actions, your focus. Stop saying you need more time or more help. What you need is belief in your own effort. Rebuilding from nothing is hard. It's not supposed to be easy, but it's also not impossible. Many have done it before you, and you can do it too. You'll cry some days. You'll doubt yourself. You'll feel invisible. But if you keep doing the work, life will start responding. Opportunities will appear. Confidence will grow. You'll find your rhythm again. You have what it takes, not because someone said so, but because you've already survived things most people couldn't handle. You've already proven that you can keep walking through darkness. Now it's time to build with that strength. Build your focus, your finances, your health, your purpose. Do it not for approval, but for peace. When you stand alone and rebuild from nothing, you stop chasing the world and start mastering yourself. And that's when real success begins, not when you get everything you want, but when you become everything you were meant to be. You're not broken beyond repair. You're just rebuilding into something unshakable. Stand up. Take the first step. Start today, because the longer you wait for help, the longer you delay your own power. You've got enough inside you to rise again. You don't need perfect conditions to begin. You just need a decision, a simple, powerful decision to stand alone and prove to yourself first that you can rebuild from nothing. And when you do, the rest of the world will see what strength really looks like. Chapter 2. Face your struggle head-on until it stops breaking you. Struggle is not a signal to stop. It's a sign that you are in motion. Every person who has ever changed their life has faced moments where everything felt too heavy to carry. That's when life asks you one question. Will you face your struggle, or will you run from it? The truth is, running never makes it easier. What you avoid grows stronger, and what you face starts to lose its power. When you face your struggle head-on, you stop letting it control your thoughts. You stop living in reaction to pain. You begin to respond with purpose. Most people spend years fighting the idea that life is unfair, that things shouldn't be this hard, that someone else should make it easier. But the moment you stop arguing with reality, you begin to grow. You start saying, "This is hard, but I can handle hard." That simple shift changes everything. Struggle can break you if you see it as punishment. It can also build you if you see it as practice. The difference lies in your attitude. You can spend your days complaining about what's wrong, or you can decide to face what hurts and learn from it. Every time you face something difficult, instead of hiding from it, your mind gets sharper. Your emotional strength deepens. You start to notice that the pain doesn't last as long as it used to. You stop reacting to every problem and start solving it. Facing your struggle doesn't mean you have to like it. It means you stop pretending it isn't there. It means you stop lying to yourself about how bad things feel. It means you sit with your frustration and tell yourself the truth: you're not okay right now, but you're not giving up either. That honesty is power. It's how healing begins. When you face your pain directly, you begin to understand it. You see the patterns. You see the habits that keep you stuck. You realize that the struggle isn't random. It's showing you something about yourself. Maybe it's revealing where you lack discipline. Maybe it's showing where you've avoided responsibility. Maybe it's exposing what you've been afraid to admit. When you face it, you learn from it. When you hide, you repeat it. Life will never stop testing you. The struggle doesn't end, it evolves. But what changes is your capacity to handle it. When you face your problems straight on, they stop being monsters in the dark. They become challenges with solutions. You start to trust your ability to work through difficulty. That's when the same situations that once made you crumble become opportunities to prove your growth. Many people give up not because they can't handle the pain, but because they never trained themselves to face it. They expect ease. They expect fairness. But growth doesn't care about fairness. It only cares about effort. Facing your struggle head-on means you accept that life is not always kind, but you will not be defeated by that truth. You will learn to rise even when you're scared. When you look back on your hardest days, you'll realize they taught you more than the easy ones ever could. You learned patience because you had to wait for change. You learned resilience because you had no other option. You learned courage because fear didn't disappear, but you moved anyway. Every lesson you carry now was born out of struggle. Facing your struggle also means taking responsibility. You stop blaming people, luck, or circumstances. You start asking yourself what you can control today. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your effort. Maybe it's your environment. There's always something you can improve, and focusing on that takes power away from what hurts you. Responsibility gives you direction. It turns helplessness into momentum. It's normal to feel angry when life gets hard. It's normal to feel lost. The mistake is staying there. You have to feel the emotion, but not build your life around it. Anger can remind you that you deserve better, but discipline makes sure you achieve it. Sadness can remind you that you've lost something important, but focus ensures you don't lose yourself. Emotions are signals, not anchors. You must listen, then move. Some struggles are visible: financial hardship, health challenges, broken relationships. Others are internal, the quiet wars inside your head that no one sees. Those internal battles can be the hardest. When you wake up and the voice in your head tells you it's pointless to try again, that's when you must face it directly. You tell yourself, "I hear you, but I'm moving anyway." That is strength in its purest form, doing what's right, even when your feelings disagree. If you've ever felt like your struggle is heavier than anyone else's, you're not alone. Everyone has pain, but few are honest about it. Most hide behind smiles. They distract themselves with noise. They chase comfort to escape discomfort, but facing struggle means silence. It means sitting in that quiet moment where you admit things aren't fine but choosing to keep going. That moment is where maturity begins. You don't overcome struggle overnight. You work through it layer by layer. You wake up and do one hard thing today. You show up to the job you hate and still give your best. You make the call you've been avoiding. You confront the truth you've been denying. Little by little, you build strength. Each day you face one more thing, and soon you notice the things that used to break you don't have the same power. The human mind adapts. The more you face discomfort, the more capable you become. Pain that once felt unbearable becomes tolerable. Challenges that once scared you become familiar. It's not that life gets easier, it's that you get stronger. When you train your mind to meet pain with effort instead of escape, you stop being controlled by it. Sometimes, facing your struggle means cutting off what drains you. Maybe it's people who don't support your growth. Maybe it's habits that waste your time. Maybe it's your own excuses. You can't move forward while carrying what's destroying you. To face your struggle, you have to clean your environment physically, mentally, emotionally. You create space for progress by removing what keeps you small. There will be moments when you'll want to give up. You'll feel like your effort doesn't matter, like the results are too far away. In those moments, remind yourself that the struggle isn't here to destroy you, it's here to build your endurance. You're learning to stay committed without guarantees. That's what separates people who grow from those who quit. Facing your struggle head-on also means facing your truth. If you've made mistakes, own them. If you've wasted time, acknowledge it. If you've been scared to change, admit it. Honesty hurts at first, but it frees you. You can't build a better life on lies. Once you tell yourself the truth, you can start doing the real work. You might think your struggle is holding you back, but in reality, it's refining you. It's sharpening your focus. It's removing distractions. It's showing you what really matters. Every challenge carries a message. You just have to be still enough to hear it. You can't hide from pain forever. Avoiding it only keeps it alive. Face it once, and you take its strength. The next time it shows up, you'll recognize it. You'll know it's just another test, not a threat. That's how you grow from surviving to thriving. There's something powerful about refusing to back down. When you stand firm, even while afraid, something inside you shifts. You start respecting yourself in a new way. You realize that you're not as weak as you once believed. The more you face what scares you, the less power fear has. Confidence is not built from comfort, it's built from confrontation. Every person watching this has something they're avoiding right now, a decision, a habit, a change. It's easier to pretend you're fine, but growth never happens in pretending. Growth happens when you face the thing you've been running from and deal with it directly. It could be a conversation you need to have, a job you need to leave, a dream you've delayed for too long. Whatever it is, face it, because avoiding it costs more energy than fixing it. When you begin to face your struggles, you also begin to respect struggle. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "What can I learn from this?" That shift in mindset turns pain into power. Suddenly, you realize that every obstacle carries a gift, the gift of growth. You'll know you're changing when you stop wishing for an easy life and start asking for a stronger mind. When you stop expecting others to understand your pain and start focusing on understanding yourself, that's when you take full ownership of your life. The goal isn't to live without struggle, it's to live above it. It's to get to a place where life can shake you, but not break you. Where pain visits, but doesn't stay. Where doubt whispers, but doesn't dictate. That's real strength. The process will test your patience. You'll have to learn how to keep calm when things move slower than you hoped. You'll have to keep faith when progress is invisible. But understand this, every day you face your struggle, you're building an inner foundation. You're teaching your mind that it can handle storms without losing balance. Don't wait for the struggle to disappear before you live your life. Build while you're hurting, work while you're unsure, heal while you're moving forward. Growth doesn't happen after pain, it happens during it. And one day, you'll notice something amazing. The same problems that used to break you won't even shake you anymore. The same stress that once crushed you will now challenge you. The same pain that once made you cry will now make you focused. That's the power of facing your struggle head on. You won't become fearless, but you'll become unstoppable. You'll stop expecting an easy path and start walking with purpose, no matter how rough it gets. You'll stop running from discomfort and start embracing it as part of your strength. This is how you win, not by escaping your battles, but by standing in the middle of them and refusing to fall apart. You may bend, you may break for a moment, but you always rebuild, you always rise. Because you've learned the most important truth. When you face your struggle head on, it stops breaking you. It starts building you. Chapter 3. Keep going when your body aches and hope feels gone. There will come a day when your body hurts, your mind is exhausted, and your hope feels too weak to lift you. You'll wake up and question why you keep trying. The effort won't seem worth it. The results will look too far away. You'll look around and see others resting, quitting, giving up, and you'll wonder if you should do the same. But that's the exact moment that separates those who talk about change from those who actually create it. When your body aches and your spirit feels empty, you must keep going, because that's the moment that shapes who you become. Pain has a strange way of making you doubt everything you once believed in. It whispers that you've done enough, that you've tried long enough, that maybe success just isn't meant for you. But pain doesn't speak the truth. It speaks fear, and fear is only powerful when you listen to it. The reality is, your body can endure more than your mind tells you it can. The fatigue you feel is not a wall, it's a test. It's your strength asking, do you really want this? You don't grow when everything feels easy. You grow when your body says stop, but your heart says one more step. That's where greatness hides, in the space between exhaustion and persistence. Most people stop right before the change begins. They quit just before the reward arrives. They surrender when progress is still invisible. But the ones who keep going, even when they can barely move, are the ones who discover what's truly possible. When hope feels gone, you can't wait for motivation. Motivation fades. What you need is commitment. You move forward, not because it feels good, but because you said you would. That's how discipline is born, by honoring your promise to yourself even when everything in you screams to stop. When your legs are tired, your mind must carry you. When your mind weakens, your purpose must take over. Sometimes progress feels invisible because it's happening inside you. You can't see your resilience forming. You can't measure your mental toughness growing. You just feel the pain. But every day you keep going despite the pain. You're building something deeper: stamina, faith, character. These things don't show up overnight, but when they finally do, you'll realize the struggle was never wasted. The human spirit is powerful beyond measure. You've survived things that should have broken you already. You've faced days that felt impossible and still found a way to get through. So when your body aches and hope feels gone, remember this: you've been here before, you've felt this before, and every time you made it through. This time won't be any different. There's something sacred about working through fatigue. When you push beyond comfort, you discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed. You learn that endurance is not just physical, it's emotional, mental, and spiritual. The ache in your body is temporary, but the strength it builds lasts forever. When your body aches, it's easy to slow down, to convince yourself that rest means quitting. But rest isn't failure, it's part of the process. The key is not to stop entirely. Take a breath, recover, then get back up. Every champion knows how to pause without giving up. The difference between stopping and resting is intention. One is escape, the other is preparation. Hope can feel distant when the results don't match your effort. You work day after day and nothing changes, or so it seems. But change doesn't happen in big leaps. It happens quietly, in small moments of consistency. You may not see it now, but something inside you is shifting every time you keep going when it hurts. Your threshold for pain expands, your patience deepens, your focus sharpens. That's progress. People often believe that success is built by confidence. But the truth is, it's built by endurance. You don't need to feel strong to act strong. You just need to keep showing up. Every day you move forward, you prove that you are stronger than the feelings that try to stop you. When hope fades, remind yourself why you started. Remember the version of you who made that promise, who had that dream, who believed it was possible. That person still lives inside you, waiting for you to keep going. You owe it to yourself to finish what you started. The effort you put in now will one day become the story you tell about how you made it through. There's nothing noble about giving up, because it's hard. Everyone can quit. The world is full of people who gave up when things got uncomfortable. But the rare ones, the ones who keep going, are remembered not for their talent, but for their refusal to stop. The ache you feel is proof that you're growing. Growth always hurts. Muscles ache before they become stronger. Minds struggle before they become wiser. Hearts break before they learn what they truly value. The pain is not the enemy. It's the evidence that you're transforming. When you feel hopeless, you must shift your focus. Don't look at how far you have left to go. Look at how far you've already come. You've made progress, even if it's small. You've overcome doubt, fatigue, and fear before. This moment is just another part of that story. You don't have to see the whole road. Just take one more step. Your body will ache, your mind will resist, your emotions will waver, but your purpose must remain steady. That's what keeps you alive when everything feels empty. Purpose gives meaning to pain. Without purpose, every challenge feels like punishment. With purpose, every challenge feels like preparation. Pain has a way of stripping away everything unnecessary. When you're tired, you stop pretending. You stop chasing approval. You stop caring about opinions. You focus only on what matters. That's one of the greatest gifts of exhaustion. It reveals your true priorities. It teaches you what's worth fighting for. There will be days when no one notices your effort. No applause, no recognition, no progress reports. Those are the days that test your heart. Can you keep going when no one's watching? Can you still give your best when it feels like it doesn't matter? If you can, you've already won, because you're not doing it for praise, you're doing it for growth. Hope may fade, but discipline keeps you alive. There will be moments when you have to tell yourself that giving up doesn't end the pain. It only extends it. Stopping brings regret. Continuing brings strength. Choose the one that builds you. When everything hurts, break your day into smaller pieces. Don't think about finishing the week, or the month, or the year. Think about finishing the next hour. Focus on completing one small task. Progress is built by stacking small wins on top of each other. When the big picture feels impossible, handle the next step. Remember, pain is not permanent. Fatigue passes, hopelessness fades, but quitting lasts forever.
You don't have to be fast, you just have to be faithful to the process. Even crawling forward is progress. The key is movement. Movement keeps your spirit alive. When your body aches, it's your body asking for care, not surrender. Eat better, sleep deeper, hydrate, stretch, breathe. Taking care of yourself is not weakness. It's part of the fight. You can't give your best if you're running on empty. Recovery is not luxury. It's responsibility. Sometimes you'll have to push through without support. You'll look around and realize that no one understands how tired you are, how much it hurts, how hard you're trying, and that's okay. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it because your future depends on it. The people who rise from nothing don't do it because they never got tired. They do it because they kept going anyway. They worked through pain. They built when they had no energy. They believed in something they couldn't yet see. That's what made them unbreakable. When you keep going in moments of pain, you build emotional toughness that nothing can buy. You start to trust yourself. You know that no matter what happens, you'll find a way through. That kind of self-trust can't be taught. It's earned through endurance. There will be nights when you'll cry from exhaustion. You'll sit alone and wonder if you're wasting your time. You'll question your worth. But when morning comes and you get up again, that's victory. That quiet act of getting up despite everything, that's power. Don't wait for things to feel easier. Life rewards the ones who move through difficulty, not around it. You'll never reach your goals if you stop every time it gets hard. The most meaningful parts of your life will come from moments that almost broke you, but did. When hope feels gone, borrow strength from your vision. Picture the life you're building. See yourself free, confident, fulfilled. Let that image pull you forward when your energy pushes you back. Visualize the reward until your body remembers why it started. It's easy to be strong when everything's working. True strength shows when nothing works but you keep moving anyway. It's in those moments that you earn your future. Every extra step, every hard choice, every long night, it all adds up. You'll find that pain eventually stops being your enemy. It becomes a teacher. It shows you where you need to grow. It reveals what needs to change. It strips away the unnecessary and brings out the real you. When you embrace it, pain turns into wisdom. The truth is, no one can carry you through your hard days. People can support you, but they can't walk the path for you. You have to face your own exhaustion and still choose effort. You have to find your rhythm in the chaos. You have to decide that quitting is not an option. You will rest, but you will not give up. You will feel tired, but you will not stop trying. You will feel hopeless, but you will not lose faith. Because every moment of persistence is a statement that you refuse to be defeated. There's no shame in being tired. There's no weakness in needing a break. But there is strength in continuing, even when it hurts. Every time you move forward through fatigue, you build a part of your legacy. You prove to yourself that pain may visit, but it cannot stay. One day, you'll look back and realize that the moments when you wanted to quit were the moments that made you unstoppable. You'll see that the exhaustion was not punishment. It was training. You were learning how to carry yourself when no one else could. So keep going when your body aches. Keep moving when hope feels gone. Keep fighting when your heart feels heavy. Because one day soon, you'll wake up and realize the pain faded, but the strength stayed, and you'll know that every tired step was worth it.
Chapter 4. Build peace inside when life gives you no comfort. There will be times in life when nothing feels stable. The people you counted on will drift away, the plans you built will fall apart, and even the things that once made you happy will lose their spark. You'll wake up and feel a quiet emptiness, the kind that doesn't shout but lingers. It's in those moments that the world feels cold and comfort feels like something that belongs to someone else. You'll search for peace outside of you, in success, in approval, in distraction, but none of it will last. True peace isn't found in what surrounds you, it's something you build within yourself, especially when life gives you no comfort. Peace doesn't come naturally to most people. We think it will appear once everything gets better. We say, "I'll feel calm when things settle down," but peace doesn't wait for calm circumstances. It's built when life is loud, uncertain, and unfair. It's the quiet strength of knowing that even if everything outside of you falls apart, you won't. You learn to stop depending on comfort to feel okay. You start creating stability inside your own mind. When you decide to build peace within, you stop fighting life. You stop expecting it to be easy. You stop blaming others for the chaos around you. Instead, you turn inward and start taking responsibility for your reactions. You realize that you can't always control what happens, but you can always control how you respond. That simple truth is the foundation of inner peace. The process begins with awareness. You can't build peace if you're constantly drowning in noise. You have to slow down and listen to your thoughts. Most people never do. They move through life reacting to everything without understanding why they feel what they feel. But when you start observing yourself, your worries, your triggers, your patterns, you begin to separate what's real from what's imagined. You realize that most of your suffering doesn't come from events themselves, but from the way you think about them. When life gives you no comfort, your mind will look for escape. You'll scroll through your phone for hours. You'll distract yourself with food, entertainment, or busyness. But peace doesn't grow through escape. It grows through stillness. When you stop running and sit with your discomfort, something begins to shift. You start noticing that your thoughts come and go like waves. Some are painful, some are hopeful, but none of them last forever. You realize that you don't have to believe every thought that enters your mind. That awareness gives you freedom. Building peace also means accepting imperfection. You don't need a perfect life to feel calm. You need acceptance. The world will never stop being unpredictable. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will change. But when you accept that imperfection is part of the human experience, you stop fighting reality. You save your energy for what you can actually change. Inner peace is not about ignoring your problems. It's about meeting them with clarity. When you're calm inside, you make better decisions. You don't rush. You don't panic. You see things for what they are, not what your fear says they are. Calmness gives you power because it lets you act from wisdom instead of emotion. When everything around you is uncomfortable, peace becomes a form of rebellion. The world will pressure you to react, to be angry, anxious, and restless. But when you choose peace, you take back control. You stop letting the outside world dictate your inner world. That's strength of the highest kind. To build peace, you have to know yourself deep. Most people are strangers to their own mind. They know their job, their friends, their routine, but not their inner voice. Spend time with yourself. Ask difficult questions. What truly matters to you? What do you believe in? What kind of life do you want to live? Peace grows when your actions align with your values. If you live in conflict with your truth, you'll always feel uneasy. Sometimes, peace requires distance. You cannot heal in the same environment that breaks you. That doesn't mean running away from every problem. It means recognizing what drains your energy and having the courage to walk away from it. Not every relationship deserves your effort. Not every argument deserves your attention. Protecting your peace means choosing where your energy goes. You can also build peace through small daily practices. Wake up a few minutes earlier
and sit quietly before the world starts demanding your attention. Go for walks without your phone. Write down your thoughts when your mind feels crowded. Take deep breaths when emotions rise. These simple actions reconnect you with yourself. They remind you that peace isn't somewhere out there. It's right here, in your awareness. When life gives you no comfort, gratitude becomes essential. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring what's wrong. It means noticing what's still right. Even on your hardest days, there are small things that still work. The breath in your lungs, the people who still care, the opportunities you still have. Focusing on what remains instead of what's lost shifts your perspective. It doesn't erase pain, but it gives it balance. Peace is not the absence of noise. It's the ability to stay centered in the middle of it. Think about those moments when everything went wrong, but you stayed composed. That's peace in action. It's not fragile. It's steady. It's not built overnight. It's practiced daily. There's a deep kind of peace that comes from forgiveness. Holding grudges keeps your heart heavy. Blaming people for your pain gives them power over your peace. Forgiveness isn't about letting others off the hook. It's about freeing yourself from constant resentment. When you forgive, you release yourself from the prison of the past. You stop reliving old pain and make space for new growth. Sometimes you have to forgive yourself too. The mistakes you made, the times you stayed silent, the moments you failed, they don't define you. Self-forgiveness is the bridge between guilt and peace. You can't move forward while carrying self-hate. You're allowed to learn from your past without living in it. Building peace inside also means creating mental boundaries. Not every opinion deserves space in your mind. The world is full of noise, news, gossip, criticism. If you absorb it all, your mind will stay restless. Protect your attention like it's a treasure. Choose what you consume. Choose who you listen to. Your peace depends on what you allow in. When the world feels chaotic, focus on the small things you can control. Clean your space, cook a meal, take a walk, do something that grounds you in the present. Peace grows when you anchor yourself in now. Worry lives in the future. Regret lives in the past. But peace lives in this moment. It's not weakness to seek calm. Some people confuse peace with passivity, but peace is not passive. It's powerful. It takes strength to stay composed when life is storming. It takes courage to respond with calmness when everything pushes you toward anger. Peace is not escape. It's mastery. It's the art of being unshaken. Life will always test your calm. You'll face losses, disappointments, and heartbreaks. You'll face days when nothing seems fair. Peace doesn't mean you stop feeling. It means you stop letting feelings control you. You can cry, then still find your balance. You can grieve, then still find gratitude. You can hurt, then still move forward. That's the kind of peace that lasts. The real transformation begins when you stop chasing comfort and start creating stability inside yourself. Comfort is temporary. It depends on things going your way. But peace is constant. It's the quiet confidence that no matter what happens, you'll be okay. That's freedom. When life offers no comfort, don't fight the discomfort. Learn from it. Discomfort teaches you how to adapt. It shows you what you value most. It makes you grow in ways comfort never could. Some of your greatest lessons will come from seasons of unrest. You'll discover that peace isn't found in ease. It's earned through understanding. Building peace is not about removing problems. It's about changing your relationship with them. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what can I learn from this? That question turns pain into purpose. It turns chaos into clarity. As you practice building peace, You'll notice that your reactions change. You'll stop rushing to defend yourself. You'll stop needing to win every argument. You'll stop seeking validation from people who don't value you. You'll start responding with intention instead of impulse. That's when you'll realize that you've become the calm in the storm. There's a special kind of power that comes from knowing you can handle uncertainty. You no longer need guarantees. You stop chasing reassurance. You trust yourself to adapt. That trust becomes your peace. It gives you stability in a world that never stops shifting. Peace also comes from simplicity. The more you chase, the more restless you become. The more you simplify, the more grounded you feel. You don't need everything to be happy. You just need clarity about what truly matters. Let go of what adds noise. Keep what adds meaning. Sometimes you'll have to build peace. While people misunderstand you, you'll have to walk alone for a while. That's okay. True peace doesn't depend on being understood. It depends on understanding yourself. The quiet time you spend alone will strengthen your connection to your own soul. You'll start enjoying your own company. And that's when loneliness turns into solitude. If you ever feel lost, come back to your breath. Breathing is the simplest way to return to the present. It's your reminder that you're still here, still capable, still alive. You don't need to fix everything at once. Just breathe and take one calm step forward. One day, you'll wake up and realize that the chaos outside no longer controls how you feel inside. You'll handle problems with clarity. You'll face setbacks with calmness. You'll move through pain with patience. That's when you'll know you've built peace. Not the kind that depends on circumstances, but the kind that lives in your soul. Life may never stop testing you, but once you learn how to build peace inside, those tests will no longer shake you. You'll find comfort, not because the world changed, but because you did, and that kind of peace can never be taken away.
Chapter 5. Learn to rely on effort, not on encouragement. There's a truth most people don't want to face. If you wait for others to push you, you'll wait forever. Encouragement feels good, but it's unreliable. You can't build a life around people's praise. You can't depend on their reminders to keep moving. You have to learn to rely on effort, not encouragement. Because when everything quiets down, when no one's clapping, when no one's checking on you, when no one notices the work you're doing, effort is what keeps you alive. Most people begin strong because they have energy, attention, or applause. The early stage of any goal feels exciting, but that excitement fades, and when it does, what's left? That's where real character is revealed. Encouragement can light the first spark, but only discipline keeps the fire burning. The people who reach their potential are the ones who keep working even when no one is watching. It's easy to feel powerful when others tell you you're doing great. But the real test comes when that praise disappears, when the likes stop, when the messages slow down, when no one asks how it's going. That silence breaks many people. They lose motivation because they've tied their effort to validation. They worked for attention, not for progress. But when you learn to rely on effort, your motivation becomes internal. You work because it's part of who you are, not because someone told you to. Effort is the most honest currency in life. It never lies. You can fake confidence. You can fake words. But you can't fake work. The hours you put in always show, even if it takes time. The more you give, the more you grow. The problem is that we've been trained to chase encouragement instead of effort. From an early age, we learn to do things for approval, to get the grade, the compliment, the promotion. But growth doesn't care about approval. It rewards consistency.
Encouragement can inspire you, but it can also weaken you if you depend on it too much. Because when people stop encouraging you, and they will, you'll mistake that silence for failure. You'll think you've lost your way when really, you've just entered the stage of growth that happens in quiet. The truth is, most of your progress will happen in silence. You'll change without recognition. You'll evolve without witnesses. That's how growth works. It doesn't announce itself. Learning to rely on effort means trusting the process even when there's no feedback. It means doing what needs to be done without waiting for applause. It means showing up every day because you said you would, not because someone reminded you. It's not glamorous, but it's how you build something real. The world doesn't owe you encouragement. People are busy with their own lives. They won't always see your effort or understand your journey, and that's okay. You're not doing this to be seen. You're doing it to be better. Every time you take action without expecting recognition, you strengthen your independence. You start to realize that your effort is enough. There's a certain freedom that comes from not needing encouragement. You stop worrying about opinions. You stop comparing your path to others. You start focusing on what truly matters, the work, because at the end of the day, results don't come from words. They come from effort. Effort is what turns potential into progress. When you rely on effort, you stop waiting. You don't need the perfect timing, mood, or condition. You move because you understand that progress only happens when you act. Encouragement makes you feel ready, but effort makes you become ready. Most of the breakthroughs in life come after long periods of invisible work. The reward doesn't arrive because you believed it arrives because you worked. Sometimes people won't understand your dedication. They'll call you obsessive or too focused. They won't see the long nights or the discipline behind your calm. That's fine. You don't need them to. The people who matter will notice when it's time. But until then, you keep going. Because every bit of effort you invest compounds over time. The reason effort matters more than encouragement is that effort builds habits, and habits build identity. You become what you do repeatedly. If you rely on encouragement, your actions will fluctuate. Some days, you'll feel strong. Other days, you'll stop. But when you rely on effort, you remove emotion from the equation. You do what needs to be done whether you feel like it or not. That's how you become dependable, not to others, but to yourself. Encouragement fades fast. It's temporary fuel. Effort, however, is renewable. You can always generate it because it comes from within. The more you practice self-discipline, the less you need external push. It's like building an engine inside you. Once it starts running, you don't have to depend on anyone to keep it going. There will be times when your effort feels invisible. You'll work hard and see no results. You'll give your best and receive no thanks. That's when you must remind yourself that results always arrive late. The universe doesn't pay instantly. It rewards those who stay consistent when everyone else quits. Every small effort counts, even when it feels useless. Encouragement is nice, but it can make you soft if you rely on it, because when it's missing, you'll hesitate. You'll lose focus. You'll doubt your direction. But effort builds resilience. When you push yourself without expecting anyone to cheer, you develop a strength that no one can take away. You become your own source of motivation. Self-reliance is not arrogance. It's maturity. It's the understanding that your growth is your responsibility. You stop blaming your environment for your lack of progress. You stop waiting for support and start creating results. You realize that effort is not just about doing, it's about becoming. Every day you put in work, you shape your mindset, your habits, and your future. Relying on effort means becoming your own encourager. You start acknowledging your progress, even the small wins. You don't need validation, because you validate yourself through action. When you finish a task, you don't wait for someone to notice. You notice. You give yourself credit, not for being perfect, but for being persistent. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they depend on motivation. Motivation is emotional, it fluctuates. Effort is logical, it's a decision. You can't control how you feel, but you can control what you do. That's why effort always wins in the long run. There's peace in knowing that effort never betrays you. You can't control outcomes, but you can control what you give. That control gives you confidence. When you rely on effort, you don't fear failure as much because you know you're doing your best. You stop worrying about what's fair and start focusing on what's possible. Encouragement often disappears when things get tough. People love to celebrate beginnings and victories, but few stand with you in the middle. That's when you must become your own support. You learn to encourage yourself through progress, not praise. You learn to keep your vision alive without outside energy. That's the kind of strength that lasts a lifetime. The difference between people who wish and those who achieve is simple. Effort. Wishing doesn't move anything. Talking about goals doesn't create change. Only action does. And consistent effort turns those small actions into results. Even when it feels like no one cares, your effort is quietly building your future. You'll notice that the more you rely on effort, the calmer you become. You stop chasing reassurance. You stop wondering if you're on the right path. You know that as long as you're working, you're moving forward. That certainty brings peace. You no longer need to convince anyone of your potential. You're proving it through consistency. Encouragement feels good in the short term, but effort feels good in the long term. There's pride in knowing you didn't quit, that you pushed yourself even when it was hard. That pride turns into confidence. You don't have to tell people who you are. They'll see it in your work. Learning to rely on effort also teaches you patience. When you stop expecting instant results or recognition, you start focusing on growth instead of validation. You start valuing progress over perfection. Every day becomes part of the process, instead of a performance. The truth is, you don't need a crowd to believe in you. You don't even need approval. You just need effort, because effort compounds quietly. It builds credibility, trust, and skill. Every hour you put in adds up, and one day, you'll look back and realize that all those small moments of effort created something massive. When you stop relying on encouragement, you start building endurance. You learn how to keep going when things feel uncertain. You learn how to keep showing up when no one's paying attention. You learn how to depend on yourself. That's real independence. Not the kind that shouts, but the kind that quietly says, I can handle it. Life rewards those who take responsibility for their own drive. If you wait for people to motivate you, you'll always be limited by their energy. But if you learn to rely on effort, your power becomes endless. You can work in silence. You can grow in solitude. You can move even when no one notices. Encouragement might start you, but effort sustains you. The world doesn't remember who got the most compliments. It remembers who did the most work. The ones who stayed consistent, who refused to quit, who kept giving their best without applause. Those are the ones who change their lives. If you want to grow, don't chase words, chase habit. Build a schedule. Keep promises to yourself. Do what needs to be done whether it feels exciting or not. Every small act of effort builds discipline, and discipline builds freedom. At some point, you'll realize that relying on encouragement was slowing you down. You'll stop waiting for people to see your potential and start showing it. You'll stop needing to feel inspired before acting. You'll act and inspiration will follow. That's how real success happens. So stop waiting for someone to cheer you on. Don't depend on applause to validate your progress. Let your effort be the proof. Work quietly. Build patiently. Trust your own grind. Because when you rely on effort instead of encouragement, you'll never have to wait for permission to grow. You'll already be moving forward, and that's when you'll realize that self-driven effort isn't just a habit. It's freedom. It's strength. It's the foundation of every lasting success you'll ever build.
Chapter 6. Create progress with the little energy you still have. There will be days when your body feels like it's running on fumes. You wake up and the weight of everything hits you before your feet even touch the ground. You're drained, not just physically, but mentally. You feel worn down by the repetition of trying, failing, and trying again. The thought of doing one more thing feels heavy. You think about resting, about taking a break that turns into giving up. But here's the truth. Those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments when your smallest effort counts the most. Because creating progress when you have little energy isn't about doing everything. It's about doing something. Progress doesn't always look powerful. Sometimes it looks like a quiet step forward when you feel like staying still. It's answering one email when your mind tells you to ignore them all. It's cleaning your space even when your energy is low. It's choosing to keep showing up even when you're not at your best. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. The dreamers wait to feel ready. The doers move even when they're not. The world praises hustle, intensity, and high energy, but the truth is, not every day will give you that kind of strength. Life drains you in ways that motivation can't always fix. Stress, loss, disappointment, and fatigue will test you, and in those times you must learn the art of gentle persistence, of creating progress with whatever energy you still have left. It's not weakness to feel tired. It's a sign you've been trying. The goal isn't perfection, it's persistence. When you have little energy, your focus has to change. Instead of thinking about everything you need to do, think about the one thing you can do right now. You don't need to run the entire race today. You just need to take the next step. One action may not feel like much, but it keeps your momentum alive. Momentum is fragile. Once you stop completely, it's harder to start again. So move slowly if you must, but don't stop. Progress built on small effort is still progress. It teaches you patience. It humbles you. It reminds you that consistency beats intensity every time. You don't need massive bursts of effort. You need small acts of commitment repeated over time. The person who keeps moving at half speed every day will go farther than the one who sprints once and quits. When you're running low on energy, simplify everything. Don't fight for perfection. Focus on the essentials.
What's the one task that will make today a little better? What's the one action that will move you closer to your goal? Cut the noise, quiet the pressure, and just do that. Simplicity saves energy. Overthinking drains it. You don't have to be powerful to be productive. Sometimes progress is a whisper, not a roar. A quiet decision to keep going, to send that message, to show up for yourself, that's strength. It's not about how much energy you have, but how you use the energy that remains. A small flame still gives light. When your energy is low, it's easy to slip into guilt. You'll tell yourself you're falling behind, that you're not doing enough, that you're failing, but guilt only burns the energy you have left. Replace guilt with grace. You're human. Some days will drain you more than others. Progress in those moments isn't measured by speed, it's measured by courage. The courage to move even slowly is what keeps you growing. Every great story of transformation includes moments of exhaustion. No one climbs without struggle. No one builds without breaking down a few times. The people who reach the top aren't the ones who had endless energy. They're the ones who used what little they had wisely. They didn't waste their time complaining. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions. They took their small energy and turned it into motion. When you have little energy left, the smallest actions become powerful. Making your bed becomes an act of order in chaos. Drinking water becomes an act of care. Finishing one small task becomes a declaration that you still have control. These actions may look small, but they remind you that you're still capable of progress. Don't underestimate the strength it takes to keep going when you're empty. It's easy to move when you're full of energy and motivation. Anyone can do that, but it takes a different kind of resilience to move when you're drained. That's the kind of strength that builds character. It's the quiet, steady kind that doesn't need to be seen to be real. Sometimes you'll have to adjust your pace, not your purpose. Resting is not quitting. Taking a break to breathe doesn't mean you've lost direction. It means you're protecting your longevity. The ones who last the longest are the ones who know how to balance effort and recovery. You can't burn forever, but you can keep glowing if you learn to pace yourself. You won't always see immediate results. You'll have days where your effort feels pointless, where nothing changes, where you question if your small actions matter. But progress doesn't always announce itself. Change often happens quietly, behind the scenes. Your effort is like a seed. It grows in silence before it shows in sight. Creating progress with little energy is about trust. Trust that your small steps are building something bigger. Trust that showing up tired still counts. Trust that effort, even at half power, is better than none. You don't need to feel inspired to make a difference. You just need to stay in motion. Energy is precious, and when it's limited, you learn how to spend it wisely. Don't waste it on self-doubt or comparison. Don't waste it on things you can't control. Direct it toward what you can improve, even slightly. One organized thought, one completed task, one honest effort. That's where your energy should go. When you feel drained, slow down your expectations. Some days will be about surviving, not thriving. That doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're adapting. Life moves in seasons. Some seasons are about planting, others about resting. The goal is to keep the rhythm alive, no matter how slow the tempo becomes. The truth is, energy doesn't just come from rest, it comes from purpose. When you remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, something inside reignites. Purpose gives meaning to fatigue. It turns tired effort into meaningful work. So when you feel like you can't keep going, focus on the why. That simple reminder can give you just enough strength to take the next step. You'll have to be kind to yourself on the low energy days. It's easy to get angry at your own exhaustion, to see it as weakness, but tiredness is not weakness. It's a signal. It's your body telling you that you've been giving a lot. Listen to it, honor it, but don't let it paralyze you. Move gently, but move. Even the slowest progress keeps you connected to your path. Some people think progress only happens in big leaps, but most of life's victories come from accumulation. Tiny, almost invisible efforts that build over time. Reading a page a day, saving a few dollars a week, learning one new thing each morning. These actions might seem small, but over months they change everything. The key is consistency, not capacity. You'll also need to learn how to manage your inner dialogue. When energy runs low, your mind tends to turn negative. It starts whispering that you can't do it, that you should stop, that you're wasting time. But you have to answer those thoughts with truth. Tell yourself, I'm tired, but I can still move. Your thoughts determine whether your last bit of energy becomes a spark or a shutdown. One of the greatest skills you can build is learning to create progress through discomfort. Because comfort will never always be available. Some days you'll feel emotionally heavy, mentally cloudy, or physically weak, but you can still make movement. Progress doesn't require perfect conditions. It requires persistence under imperfect ones. You can start small. Write one paragraph. Take one short walk. Clean one corner of the room. Do one thing that makes today slightly better than yesterday. That's all it takes to keep moving forward. Don't dismiss small effort. It's what builds big change. When your energy is low, gratitude can also give you a boost. Shift your focus from what you lack to what you still have. You still have time, breath, and the ability to choose. Gratitude recharges you in ways rest alone cannot. It reminds you that not all is lost, that even in exhaustion, there's still something left to give. You'll notice that as you keep pushing through low-energy days, your endurance expands. You start realizing that you're capable of more than you thought. You stop seeing tiredness as a full stop, and start seeing it as a slower pace. You learn how to adjust, not abandon. That's wisdom. That's how resilience is born. Progress in hard times builds confidence that lasts. When you know you can create results even when you're not at your best, you become unstoppable. You stop waiting for the perfect version of yourself to appear. You start using the version you have right now. And that version, flawed, tired, imperfect, is still enough to move forward. Creating progress with little energy isn't about heroism, it's about humanity. It's about understanding that life won't always give you ideal days, but you can still make those days count. It's about making peace with slow growth. It's about honoring your effort, even when it's small. One day you'll look back and realize that your most meaningful progress didn't come from the days you felt powerful. It came from the days you felt drained, but still tried. Those quiet victories are what built your strength. They're proof that you can still move mountains 1 inch at a time. So when you wake up tired, when your energy is gone, when motivation feels miles away, remember this: you don't need to do it all today. You just need to do something. Use what you have, move with what remains, because every small effort matters, and those small efforts, repeated over time, will create the progress you once thought was impossible.
Chapter 7. Let your broken days teach you real self-respect. There will be days when everything inside you feels shattered. You'll wake up and feel like you've lost control, like the world is moving without you. You'll try to get through the day, but your thoughts will weigh heavier than your body. You'll hide your pain because no one seems to notice, and you'll question your worth because you feel like you've failed. But here's the truth. Your broken days are not the end of you. They are the beginning of understanding what real self-respect means. Self-respect is not built when life is easy. It's built when life hurts and you refuse to treat yourself like you deserve less. It's built in the silence of struggle, when no one is watching and you still choose not to give up on yourself. When you're broken, the temptation is to let go, to stop caring, to stop trying, to sink deeper into pain. But those are the moments when self-respect must speak louder than despair. It whispers, "I may be hurting, but I will not abandon myself." Your broken days teach you how to stay present when everything feels unbearable. Stay calm when emotions rush through you. Stay committed to healing even when progress is invisible. It's easy to love yourself when everything is going right, but the real test comes when you feel like you've lost everything. Self-respect is choosing not to destroy yourself when life has already hurt you enough. When everything inside feels cracked, your instincts will tell you to escape, to distract, to run, to numb. But avoiding your pain doesn't heal it, it deepens it. Facing it takes courage. Sitting with it takes maturity. When you allow yourself to feel what hurts without letting it define you, you start to grow a different kind of strength. The quiet strength of understanding. That's when you begin to realize that being broken doesn't mean being worthless. It means you've been through something real. The most powerful people you'll ever meet are not the ones who never broke down. They're the ones who did, and rebuilt with honesty. When you're broken, you see yourself without filters. You meet the parts of you that you usually hide. The fear, the insecurity, the regret, they all come to the surface. But if you stay long enough to look at them, you begin to understand yourself in a deeper way. You stop chasing perfection and start practicing acceptance. That's the foundation of real self-respect. Knowing you are flawed and still worthy. Broken days teach you that not every failure is final. They show you that life doesn't always follow your plan. But that doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're human. You'll learn to stop defining yourself by what went wrong and start defining yourself by how you responded. Maybe you cried. Maybe you fell apart. But if you're still trying, if you're still here, that's strength. Self-respect is saying, I may not have it all figured out, but I will not treat myself like I am less because of it. It's refusing to speak to yourself with cruelty. It's looking in the mirror and offering understanding instead of judgment. The way you treat yourself in pain sets the tone for your entire life. If you can show compassion to yourself in the dark, you'll never again allow the world to convince you that you are small. On broken days, everything slows down. You can't fake strength anymore. You can't pretend to be fine. That's not a setback. It's an invitation. It's life asking you to stop performing and start feeling, to stop chasing and start listening, because the moment you stop running from yourself, you begin to rebuild a relationship with the only person who will be with you forever. Self-respect grows from honesty. When you admit that you're not okay, you're no longer trapped by denial. You start to see what needs to change. You start taking responsibility, not as punishment but as freedom. You stop expecting others to rescue you. You begin to see that healing is your job, not theirs.
And that realization is one of the most powerful forms of respect you can ever show yourself. There's dignity in learning to hold yourself together after you've fallen apart. Every time you pick yourself up without waiting for someone else to do it, you build confidence. You prove that you can rely on your own strength. And when you learn that, you stop begging for validation. You stop chasing people who only show up when you're strong. You start building your life around people and habits that honor your peace, not your pain. Your broken days are teachers. They show you what kind of thoughts live in your mind. They reveal the habits that help and the ones that harm. They strip away distractions and force you to meet yourself. When you're tired, sad, or angry, you see who you really are beneath the surface, and that awareness is the starting point of growth. You can't heal what you refuse to face. Self-respect also means setting boundaries, especially in pain. When you're broken, you're vulnerable, and vulnerability attracts both kindness and cruelty. Some people will try to take advantage of your weakness. Others will disappear because they can't handle it. You have to protect yourself without becoming bitter. That balance is difficult, but necessary. You learn to say no without guilt. You learn that protecting your peace is not selfish, it's survival. There will be moments when you'll feel embarrassed by your breakdowns. You'll think you should have handled things better, stronger, fast. But broken days don't define your worth. They reveal your humanity. Stop apologizing for being emotional. Stop feeling ashamed for struggling. You're not broken because you hurt. You're broken because you care deep. That depth is not a flaw. It's a strength that allows you to rebuild with empathy. Healing doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes it looks like crying in the shower, breathing through anxiety, or taking one small step when everything feels heavy. Respecting yourself through that process means recognizing that effort, even when small, is enough. You don't owe the world perfection. You owe yourself consistency. When you learn to find value in your broken moments, you stop fearing them. You start seeing pain as a messenger instead of an enemy. Every heartbreak, failure, and disappointment carries a lesson. Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you who really supports you. Maybe it's reminding you that you deserve better than what you've been accepting. Self-respect comes when you stop settling for situations that hurt your spirit. Your broken days will show you what drains you, what triggers you, and what no longer deserves your attention. Listen to that. Pain speaks in patterns. If you keep ending up in the same kind of hurt, it's not life being unfair. It's life asking you to change what you tolerate. There's power in rebuilding quietly. You don't need to announce your healing. You don't need to prove your strength. Just live in a way that reflects it. Speak kindly to yourself. Keep promises to yourself. Follow through on your goals, even if progress is slow. Every time you honor your word, your self-respect grows. You stop needing external proof that you're enough, because your actions remind you every day. Your broken days also teach humility. They remind you that you're not invincible, that everyone hurts, and that empathy matters. When you've been broken, you stop judging others harshly. You start understanding that everyone is fighting something unseen. This perspective gives your life more depth, more meaning, more compassion. But self-respect isn't only soft, it's firm. It's not just about comfort, it's also about standards. It's about refusing to let pain become your identity. You've suffered, yes, but you're not defined by your suffering. You're defined by what you choose to do next. When you rise after being broken, you set a new baseline for what you accept in life. You realize that if you can survive your lowest point, there's nothing left to fear. You'll reach a point where you stop trying to prove your worth to anyone. The people who truly value you will see your light even when you're dim. The ones who don't were never meant to walk beside you. Self-respect means walking away from what doesn't honor your growth, even when it hurts. There will be nights when your heart feels too heavy to carry. In those moments, remember this: you don't have to fix everything right away. Healing is not a race. Some days will feel like progress, others will feel like starting over. But even when you fall back, you're still moving forward because you're trying. That's the kind of effort that builds pride, not arrogance. The quiet pride of knowing you didn't quit on yourself. When you start treating yourself with respect, your life begins to align. You start attracting peace instead of chaos, love instead of approval, purpose instead of distraction. It doesn't happen overnight, but it happens. One small choice at a time, one moment of grace after another. You start becoming the person you needed when you were broken. Self-respect built through broken days lasts, because it's tested. You don't have to prove it anymore. It lives in your posture, your silence, your boundaries. You walk differently, because you know what you survived. You speak differently, because you no longer beg to be understood. You move differently, because you finally believe that your peace matters. You'll never be completely free from broken days. They'll come again. But next time you'll know how to handle them. You'll know that breakdowns don't mean you're weak. They mean you're human. You'll remind yourself that no matter how dark it gets, you've been here before, and you made it through. And one day you'll look back at those broken days with gratitude. Because they didn't destroy you, they introduced you to yourself. They taught you how to respect yourself without needing approval. They showed you that your worth isn't measured by what you lose, but by how you rise. When life breaks you, it's not asking you to give up. It's asking you to rebuild with more honesty, more boundaries, more strength. That's real self-respect, loving yourself. Not because you're perfect, but because you kept going even when you were broken.
Chapter 8. Rise every morning ready to fight for your future. Every morning is an invitation to begin again, but not everyone accepts it. Most people wake up already tired of their own story. They scroll through their phone, replaying the same thoughts, the same regrets, the same doubts. They let the day slip through their fingers before it even begins. But if you want to change your life, you have to make a different choice. You have to rise every morning ready to fight for your future. Because no one is going to hand it to you. The world respects effort, not excuses. When the alarm goes off, it's not just signaling the start of another day. It's giving you a choice. You can either wake up as the same person you were yesterday, or you can get up with the intention to grow. That decision, repeated day after day, determines everything. You don't build your future in one grand moment. You build it in quiet mornings, through small actions, through discipline that no one sees. Fighting for your future isn't about being aggressive. It's about being committed. It's about showing up when you'd rather sleep, working when you'd rather complain, and believing when no one else believes with you. Every time you choose effort over comfort, you're making a statement. You're not waiting for luck. You're creating your own momentum. Each morning gives you another opportunity to rewrite your story. You're not defined by what happened yesterday. You're defined by what you do today. The mistakes you made, the time you lost, the things that didn't work, they don't own you anymore unless you let them. The past is a lesson, not a sentence.
The future starts the moment you open your eyes and decide that today will be different. There will be mornings when you don't feel strong. You'll wake up with a heavy mind and a tired heart. On those days, the fight feels pointless, but those are the most important mornings. Because when you push through them, you prove to yourself that strength isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do, despite how you feel. Every time you rise in the face of fatigue, you're training yourself for resilience. You won't always feel ready. You won't always feel inspired. But readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. The people who make progress aren't the ones who wait for motivation. They're the ones who act before it arrives. They wake up and do the work, even when the world feels heavy, because they understand that every small step today is an investment in tomorrow. If you want to build a better future, you have to stop negotiating with your potential. You can't keep saying maybe later or when things get easier. Things rarely get easier. You just get stronger. And the way you get stronger is by fighting for what you want every single day, even in silence, even without results yet. Consistency is the proof of belief. Your mornings are sacred. They set the tone for everything that follows. How you start your day often decides how you finish it. If you start distracted, you'll stay unfocused. If you start defeated, you'll stay small. But if you start intentional with gratitude, focus and discipline, you begin to shift your entire mindset. Wake up with purpose, even if the world doesn't yet reflect the life you're chasing. That's how transformation begins. You have to build your own energy. Waiting to feel motivated is like waiting for the rain. You might spend your whole life waiting. Movement creates motivation, not the other way around. When you start acting, even in small ways, momentum builds. The moment you begin, something inside you wakes up. You feel alive again, because you're doing something about your future, not just dreaming about it. Fighting for your future doesn't mean hating your present. It means refusing to settle for less than what you know you can be. It means waking up and asking yourself, what can I do today to move closer to the life I want? That question changes everything. It gives direction to your effort. It turns chaos into clarity. Even small progress becomes meaningful when you know why you're doing. There will be resistance every morning. Your mind will come up with reasons to delay. You're tired. You deserve a break. One day off won't hurt. But every small surrender chips away at your confidence. Every time you give in, you reinforce the habit of quitting. You have to challenge that voice. You have to answer it with action. You have to remind yourself that your future depends on what you do right now, not what you say you'll do later. Waking up ready to fight for your future means being honest with yourself. You can't keep pretending you'll get serious someday. Someday is a lie. Someday is how dreams die slowly. You have to start now, with what you have, even if it's not perfect. The perfect moment doesn't exist. Progress only happens when you start where you are, with the tools and strength you already have. The fight for your future is not against the world, it's against your own hesitation. It's against laziness, fear, and doubt. Those are your real enemy. They whisper that you can't, that it's too late, that you're not ready. But every time you take action anyway, you silence them. The more you move forward, the quieter they become. Every morning is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're serious about your goal. You don't need to shout about it or announce it online. Just do the work quietly. Keep promises to yourself. That's how self-respect is built, through action that matches intention. You start trusting yourself again, when you do what you said you would do, when you rise early, before distractions flood your mind, you reclaim your time, you create space for focus and growth. That's when clarity happens, when you're not reacting to life, but creating it. Those morning hours are where discipline grows root. It's where the strongest version of you is born. Don't think of fighting for your future as a war you'll one day win. Think of it as a practice. Every day is a new round. Some days you'll win easily. Other days you'll barely make it through. But as long as you show up, you're still in the fight. The only way to lose is to stop showing up. You don't need to be fearless to fight. You just need to be willing. Fear will always exist, but so will opportunity. You can't wait for courage to erase fear. You move through fear. You act despite it. That's where progress begins. Sometimes fighting for your future means doing the things that no one claps for. Studying when no one's watching. Working on your craft when no one's paying you yet. Sacrificing comfort for consistency. It's not glamorous, but it's real. Those are the unseen hours that separate those who talk about success from those who build it. There will be people who won't understand your focus. They'll tell you to relax, to slow down, to live a little. But you can't live fully while ignoring your purpose. Fighting for your future doesn't mean you never rest. It means your rest is intentional. It means you recharge, not escape. It means every choice serves your growth, not your comfort. You have to stop underestimating the value of today. Every day you waste is one less day to grow. Every morning you choose comfort over purpose. You delay your potential. But every day you rise with intent. You build momentum that compounds. The small choices you make daily, how you spend your first hour, what you focus on, what you tell yourself, shape your entire futures. It's not enough to want success. You have to want the work that creates it. You have to wake up and give something of yourself every day. Energy, focus, effort, something. Because the future doesn't wait for the ready. It rewards the relentless. There will be days when it feels like nothing's changing. When your effort feels invisible. When progress feels slow. Those are the most dangerous days, because that's when most people quit. But that's also when your breakthrough begins to take shape. The progress you can't see is still happening. Growth doesn't always make noise. It happens quietly, deep inside you, until one day, it shows in everything you do. When you rise every morning ready to fight for your future, you train your mind to believe that your dreams matter. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. You stop wishing for change and start working for it. You stop blaming the world and start taking ownership of your story. The truth is, your future depends on what you do when it's hardest to keep going. Anyone can work hard for a week. Anyone can stay motivated for a short time. But it's those who stay consistent, even when enthusiasm fades, who build something lasting. Fighting for your future also means protecting your energy. Not every fight deserves your attention. Not every distraction deserves your time. Learn to say no to what doesn't align with your goals. Learn to walk away from conversations, habits, and people that pull you backward. The fight for your future isn't just about doing more. It's about doing what matters. You'll know you're growing. When you stop needing everything to feel easy, you'll understand that difficulty isn't a sign to quit. It's a signal that you're stretching. You're becoming more capable than you were before. Every challenge you overcome expands your confidence. You start seeing obstacles as opportunities to sharpen your focus. Your mornings should remind you that you're still in control. Life may throw you chaos, but you decide how you start your day. You decide whether to scroll through distractions or focus on creation. You decide whether to drift or drive. That choice made daily becomes your foundation. No one else will fight for your dream like you will. No one else knows what it means to you. So stop expecting others to push you. Stop waiting for the perfect environment. You are the environment. You are the engine. You are the reason your life changes. And when you wake up tired, discouraged, or uncertain, remind yourself that you've already come through worse. You've survived hard days, and you're still standing. That means you can handle this too. Strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you prove every morning by getting up again. There's a quiet power in starting each day with determination. Not noise, not drama, just purpose. You open your eyes and remind yourself, I'm still here, and I'm still fighting. That mindset will carry you farther than motivation ever could. Because you're not relying on emotion, you're relying on will. You don't need to win every battle to build your future. You just need to keep showing up to the fight. Each morning you get a new round. Stand tall, focus on the next step. Keep your vision clear. Because one day, the fight that feels endless will become the life you once dreamed about. And when that day comes, when you look around and realize that the life you built is yours because of your persistence, you'll understand that it was never just about the dream. It was about the person you became through the fight. That's the reward. That's the reason to rise every morning ready to fight for your future.
Chapter 9. Hold your vision close when no one understands it. There will be moments in your life when you'll stand completely alone, holding on to something that no one else can see. You'll talk about your plans, your vision, your dream, and you'll see blank faces staring back at you. Some will nod politely, others will doubt quietly, and a few will openly tell you that what you want is unrealistic. That's when you'll be tested, not by failure, but by misunderstanding. The real challenge isn't the work, it's continuing to believe when no one else believes with you. That's why you must hold your vision close, especially when no one understands it. Every person who's ever built something meaningful went through that phase of isolation. Before the success, before the recognition, before anyone cared, there was a period when they were misunderstood. It's easy for people to doubt what they can't see, and most people can't see beyond the present moment. They see where you are, not where you're going. They measure your dream by their own limits. But you have to stop expecting them to understand something that wasn't given to them. Your vision was placed in your heart for a reason. It's yours, not theirs. Holding your vision close doesn't mean hiding it out of fear. It means protecting it from noise, negativity, and doubt. It means refusing to let outside opinions weaken your focus. Not everyone deserves access to your dream, because not everyone has the capacity to nurture it. Some people will project their fears onto you. Others will try to convince you to play it safe, not because they don't want you to win, but because they can't imagine winning themselves. You have to learn to hear their concern without adopting their limitations. When you're building something from nothing, belief becomes your greatest currency. You might not have resources, support, or validation, but if you have belief, you still have power. Belief is what keeps you moving through uncertainty. It's what allows you to keep building when no one else sees progress. It's the quiet conviction that says, I know what I'm working toward, even if no one else does. You'll feel tempted to prove yourself. You'll want to show people your progress, your plans,
your passion. But sometimes the best way to prove yourself is through patience. Let your results speak for you. The time you spend explaining yourself could be time spent improving yourself. People don't believe words, they believe consistency. Keep showing up for your dream long enough, and eventually the noise around you will fade into silence. There's a loneliness that comes with having a vision that others can't comprehend. You'll feel misunderstood, even by those closest to you. You'll start to question if you're delusional for believing something that hasn't yet materialized. But that's the price of foresight. You see things before they exist. You feel things before they're visible. You imagine a version of your life that others can't yet picture. That doesn't make you crazy. It makes you committed. The mistake many people make is sharing their vision too early. They talk about it before it's strong enough to withstand criticism. When your dream is young, it's fragile. It needs time to develop roots before it can face storms. Not everyone who listens will understand, and not everyone who understands will support you. Some will discourage you unintentionally, others will do it out of envy. You have to be selective with who you share your progress with. Protect your dream like it's sacred, because it is. There will be days when even you start doubting it. You'll wonder if maybe everyone else was right. You'll question if the time, the sacrifices, the loneliness are worth it. But that's when you have to remember why you start. You didn't begin this journey for applause. You began it because something inside you told you that you were meant for more. That quiet voice that pushed you to start still lives inside you. Listen to it. It's not gone. It's just buried beneath exhaustion and doubt. Holding your vision close means staying grounded in your why. When the path gets dark and the results are slow, your why becomes your anchor. It reminds you that this isn't just about success. It's about purpose. It's about proving to yourself that your life can mean something greater than survival. When no one understands your dream, your why becomes the fuel that keeps your fire alive. You'll notice that as you grow, fewer people will relate to you. That's normal. Growth creates distance. Not everyone can walk with you at every stage. Some people are only meant for a part of your journey. The mistake is thinking that you owe them your vision. You don't. You owe them kindness, not access. You owe yourself the focus that your dream requires. There's peace in learning that understanding is not a requirement for progress. You don't need people to validate your vision. You just need to act on it. The world will catch up later. History has shown this countless times. Those who see ahead are often judged first and celebrated later. So don't take misunderstanding personally. Take it as confirmation that you're building something original. When you hold your vision close, you also learn patience. Big dreams don't bloom overnight. There will be seasons where it looks like nothing's happened. You'll question whether your effort is working, but what's unseen is often the most important. Roots grow underground long before a tree touches the sky. Your work, your discipline, your sacrifices,